I have with me today Lynda Rose, Director of Voice for Justice UK. Welcome, Lynda.
Thank you.
Lynda, tell us, how and why did Voice for Justice start? What is it?
Well, increasingly in society today, we're seeing the ancient freedoms that we've all just taken as read and as a part of life being eroded. And individuals are being abused, and the right to speak is being curtailed. And religious liberty, the freedom to practice your religion and to speak it out, is under threat. So Voice for Justice UK was formed to defend the voiceless, those who can't speak for themselves, and to speak out truth, to uphold justice. So we stand very consciously on the articles of the 1948 Declaration of Human Rights, and we see our call as to fight for all who are disadvantaged, marginalised or exploited in some way, and that's what Voice for Justice is all about.
One of the slogans on your website is taken from the Bible, Amos 5:24. It says, "Let justice flow like a river and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream." You appear to hold a biblical worldview, is that right?
I think the Bible underpins all that we do. We obviously work in the secular field, but we are informed by the Bible. We believe in it absolutely, and it's from the Bible that we get our respect and love for individuals, and it is because of the Bible that we defend the freedom to speak out, because God gives free will to everybody. So we are trying to uphold and defend that, and to be obedient to the biblical principle to care for those who are oppressed and on the fringes of society, who are abused, who need help.
You use words like righteousness, justice, truth, all wonderful words. Do you feel there's a need in our society for more of these things today?
I think these three things are the bedrock of all human society. And if we lose righteousness, if we lose justice, which is founded on that real respect for another human being that cherishes and cares for them, if we lose truth, then society, the whole social order, actually starts to disintegrate.
You seem to focus particularly on the issue of trafficking. Can you tell us why this is?
Well, trafficking is one of the campaigns that Voice for Justice is very involved with at the moment. And in recent months we have become so aware of the sexual exploitation and abuse that is going on in society, which of course is a part of the whole trafficking.
It's been described as a form of modern-day slavery. We don't tend to think of slavery as being something that even exists in our society these days, but in fact it appears to have increased. Would you say that was true?
Well, 200 years ago, William Wilberforce was very successful in outlawing slavery. It is now estimated that there are 27 million people worldwide in slavery, which is actually a vast increase. And slavery is very much, it's a worldwide problem, and it is on the increase, and we are seeing it being used as a weapon of war. Where there is conflict situation, very often the victors are deliberately enslaving those who they defeat, so we are seeing a large part of that. We're also seeing big crime syndicates, and they are routinely enslaving young people for sex purposes, for crime, for menial domestic work. So yes, slavery is very much on the increase, but trafficking itself is actually a very broadly defined term. Under British law, trafficking is any intentional act of recruitment that involves the threat or use of force or coercion for the purposes of exploitation. So trafficking, yes, it encompasses slavery, but it also it includes all cases of deliberate exploitation. So that's all exploitation. It's children or young people who are brought into the country from abroad, or internal rings that are deliberately grooming girls for sex purposes, paedophilia and abuse over the internet. So trafficking is deliberately very broadly defined. There is no section of society that is safe. And that is why there is such a big job to do here, and why at Voice for Justice we really want to work at educating our children as a frontline way of protecting them.
Lynda, you speak about fighting for freedoms and defending the voiceless. Can you explain what Voice for Justice is doing in these areas to be effective?
Well, apart from trafficking, the other main areas that we're working in are for the defence of the unborn. We believe very much in respect and cherishing life from the moment of conception through to natural death. And of course, before birth, an embryo has no voice at all.
No.
So we are working to defend them and defend the right to life.
But you're also working to defend the frail, the voiceless, at the other end of the spectrum, as it were.
Yes, we are, because we believe that the quality of life, when people are in extremis, when they're suffering, they're actually still of value. And we are very much afraid that if a sister dying does become legal, that it will increasingly put the vulnerable at risk who actually want to live. And equally, we are very worried about the introduction of euthanasia, because that is giving into the hands of another, of doctors, of close family members, a decision on quality of life. Yes. And one of our major concerns is that people will increasingly be seen as of value only while they are of use. And as soon as they cease to be of use in society's eyes, they will be terminated.
So not only are you aiming to fight this evil in society and expose it, but you're also aiming to speak the truth to power. That is one of your slogans, speaking the truth to power. And by power, I assume you mean our government. What are you doing in this area?
Well, one example of that is that, coming back to trafficking, there's an anti-slavery bill that is currently in preparation, and along with other groups working in these areas, we've been asked to comment by the Home Office on the various provisions, and also to make suggestions for any gaps that we feel there are in this proposed legislation. I would hope and believe that what we are doing is being seen as of value. So yes, I do feel that in this we are being heard and do have a very definite contribution to make and a responsibility to make that contribution now.
Well, thank you, Lynda, for coming to the studio today and telling us a little bit about Voice for Justice. It's great to hear what you're doing. I believe it's very much needed in this day and age, and I wish you every success. Hope it really becomes more and more effective as time goes on. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. We're praying that too. And if anybody would like to know more, become involved, as we do hope they will, if they go online to our website, they can find much more information. So that's www.vfjuk.org, and that will take them to us, and we will be delighted to respond to them.
Thank you.